That thumbnail has got me feeling very oosy. There's no denying that we are all on board the Sami Uso arc. He's been an unexpected touchdown of a SmackDown storyteller. Now, in an interview recently, Sami Zayn, who initially wanted to just get the approval of the locker room from the tribal chief, he said he doesn't quite know where this tale is going to end. I'm here to speculate on the possibility of Sami Zayn ending it in style, and Sami Zayn being the one that pins Roman Reigns. Now, nobody has unseated the head of the table for over 2 years. He's been champ since August 2020. The two guys that he beat in that match have been fired and rehired since Roman's reign began. And he became the champ at WrestleMania 38. Heck, he hasn't been pinned since 2019. The last time Roman looked at the lights, if you were to ask somebody, have you got corona, they'd have said, yeah, Rhythm of the Night is a banger. Whoever hands Roman the L is going to not just be potentially taking title or titles, but a bragging right not seen since The Undertaker's streak ended. So that is a moment that simply cannot be wasted on anybody. Now, they could have done it with an established star. However, Roman overcame tractor-powered Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Why haven't we had a tractor action figure yet with Brock Lesnar? That'd be great. Anyway, they could have done it for a crowd pop you could have only measured on the Richter scale. But Roman won a 62,000-on-1 handicap match over Drew McIntyre and co. at Clash at the Castle in Cardiff. Now, he faces opposition from Logan Paul this weekend in Saudi Arabia and potential punch-ups with Cody Rhodes and The Rock on the horizon. Now, Cody wearing the winged eagle is a delightful daydream, and you don't need to be a detective to see comic hero Black Adam besting the bloodline being a front page story of many newspapers the next day. But that was before the underdog from the underground popped up in Roman Reigns' yard. This story of the smarmy lackey that the WWE Universe took into their arms, getting ousted from his adopted family, only to return to the table and dole out just desserts, is delicious to think about. It's not like Sami Zayn doesn't deserve it either. This is an indie guy who put ROH on the map with this incredible war with Kevin Steen, or was that El Generico? Anyway, he brought that same magic to NXT with Kevin Owens and main event roster WWE. He's captured hearts, titles and minds, whether he's a scrappy babyface, a devious heel, a conspiracy theorist, a Fidel Castro cosplayer, or a Johnny Knoxville punching bag. The fact that earlier in the year he was pinned inside a giant mousetrap, and the fact that after that we still consider him a potential Roman Reigns beater says all that you need to know about the greatness of Sami Zayn. Now, I've waxed enough lyrical about why Sami could smash the Samoan stronghold on SmackDown, but it's not as clear-cut as that, unfortunately. It's a great yarn to weave, isn't it? Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns, becoming the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, standing tall with those belts in his hand over the bodies of the Bloodline as an established main event star. But then what? Where do we go beyond matches and rematches with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso? Where does Triple H and his writing raconteur take Sami Zayn as a top talent when he's no longer surrounded by the Usos? Surely he'd end up slipping back down the card, momentum dissipating, making the whole thing matter not. Which is why maybe, just maybe, switching mountains may make for a less arduous journey. We'll come back to that bit. The eventuality may not very well be that Sami's retribution, not that one, comes from beating the Bloodline, but rather beating not the tribal chief himself, but the Usos. And there's a multitude of ways that you can do that. If a title is to be taken, what's to stop Sami reuniting with his fight forever friend Kevin Owens as a united force and wrest the undisputed tag team titles from Jimmy and Jey Uso? So most sensible optics would certainly say that's a nice way of doing it, as it would do with Sami and Jey Uso one-on-one. These two could put on an amazing showdown. and that would give us some very satisfactory optics as well. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, banger of a match on a premium live event, and the business is done. Now, despite this being an obvious blow-off, there is nothing to stop Sami from maybe costing Roman Reigns the championship rather than taking it from him. You know, imagine it, when the lights are on the brightest. Sami Zayn finally coming to his senses at WrestleMania, Helluva kicking some Uso-Usi, and leading to Cody Rhodes dropping Roman with a title-grabbing Crossroads, or The Rock besting his cousin in front of LA's finest. A combination of self-aware creative and a perfect protagonist have birthed a very real star that fans are completely behind. I would like to think that we are far beyond that era now, where such things are cast aside because they weren't manufactured in a meeting room, and instead they are embraced. You think about the rise of Zack Ryder as he was doing his own thing as the internet champion, and how that was dismissed, or because it wasn't created in a WWE writing department, and consequently we saw Zack Ryder abused rather than used on the main roster. There's this deep fear that because something isn't created by WWE, WWE are dismissive of it. But this is a very brave and bold new era where that may not happen. I should address the fact that I dismiss Sami Zayn as a top main event star a little bit. And this comes from somebody that loves the bones off of Sami Zayn. Since he debuted as part of NXT, I had heard of him in Ring of Honor. Admittedly, I wasn't there from the beginning. I know, what a glory seeker I am. But I loved Sami Zayn's work in NXT. I was right at the front when he made his in-ring return in Newcastle, and I was a bit emotional seeing him doing his thing in front of the crowd of Geordies. That was amazing that night. I remember Sami Zayn challenging John Cena for the United States Championship in that open challenge, and Sami Zayn injured his arm before the match even started, and then had to spend the rest of the year on the shelf. That was devastating. The little moments that we had between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in their feuds on the main roster, just beautiful storytelling. Sami Zayn as a bad guy, it was impossible, and still is impossible, not to fall in love with him. And that's what's happened here. If you don't think, and I said this on the news video just the other day, if you don't think that Sami Zayn is killing it in this role, take a look at the corpses in the ring on SmackDown this past Friday. That crowd is white hot for Sami Zayn. Whenever WWE put out anything to do with the bloodline, who's your favourite member of the bloodline? Who's the favourite member of the Usos? Sami Zayn just dominates the replies. GIFs of the Sami Zayn dance appear on timelines constantly. So the idea of him being the guy that beats Roman Reigns, one can truly salivate over. I love the idea that he's come along from nothing almost, and now genuinely feels like a great way to end the Roman story. Really, really does. But I don't believe at this point Sami Zayn could carry a world heavyweight title. Please shout at me for saying that. And I'd love to be wrong. Douglas Adams has that famous quote from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is, "I would rather be happy than right." I would certainly rather be happy than right. But here's a compromise. I said at the very beginning about Sami Zayn being the one to pin Roman Reigns, and that is something that I'm actually pretty behind. The idea that maybe Sami Zayn doesn't become a champion, but Sami Zayn has a match with Roman Reigns, and you can do shenanigans, you can do it however you wish. But what if Sami Zayn were to pin Roman Reigns? The first pinfall loss of Roman Reigns' career since 2019. And it's Sami Zayn that does it. I don't think you need to give Sami a title run to give him all the accolades of that. And that could be something that could maybe springboard a title run. That's a cool little compromise, is it not? The idea of Sami Zayn being the one that pins Roman Reigns at the end of all of this. You could make a star from that. You could carry on building the star that is Sami Zayn from that. So should Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns? I think that is one way of doing it. Regardless of whether he beats him, pins him, or what have you, I genuinely believe that Sami Zayn is in this story for the long haul now, and I genuinely believe that one way or another, Sami Zayn is going to play a very crucial role in the fall of the Roman Empire. And as a wrestling fan, I'm very excited to see it. That's my pontificating, that's my percolating. I'd like to see what you're deliberating. Let me know what you think on our question in the comments down below. Stay Usi and love you, bye.